You've probably heard of the evil eye, right? For centuries, it's been this spooky idea, a belief that a single jealous glance could totally wreck your life. But what if that feeling? What if it wasn't a curse at all? In this explainer, we're going to look at this ancient idea in a whole new light. Not as magic, but as a really powerful symbol for a psychological experience that, well, I think we all go through. So let's just get right to it. What are we actually talking about when we talk about the evil eye? Is it some ancient supernatural force? Or is it really just a name for a very modern anxiety, that super uncomfortable feeling of being watched, judged, or envied? That's the big question we're going to unpack together. To really get what this feeling is, we've got to go back and see where the whole idea even came from. And what's wild is that it's not from just one culture. Nope, this is a nearly universal human belief that goes back thousands and thousands of years. It's everywhere. So historically, the evil eye wasn't really seen as some kind of magical attack. It was more of a social explanation for real-world stuff going wrong. I mean, think about it. If you're in a small community and you suddenly get sick right after someone praised how healthy you are, the evil eye was a pretty logical culprit, right? It was almost like a myth language, a way to put words to a feeling we still get today, that being the center of attention, well, it carries a certain weight. Okay, so if it's not a supernatural curse, then what is that feeling? Let's peel back that historical symbol for a second and look at the psychological reality underneath. And this is where it gets really, really interesting. First off, let's just be crystal clear about what we are not talking about here. This is not some supernatural laser beam shooting out of someone's eyes. It's not a literal curse you can accidentally set off. It's definitely not proof that someone is evil, and it is not some hidden force out to get you. The reality is, well, it's a lot more internal and honestly a lot more human. So what is that jinxed feeling, really? Well, psychology tells us it's basically a combo of three powerful things. First, just plain old social stress. You know, being intensely watched or evaluated, whether it's on social media or in a meeting, can literally set off your body's fight or flight response. Second, there's internalized comparison. That's when someone's attention makes you suddenly start doubting yourself, and your performance can actually take a nosedive. Think imposter syndrome. And finally, you've got expectation effects. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you truly believe you're under some kind of threat, the anxiety you create can actually cause the bad thing you're worried about. And this brings us to what is maybe the single most important idea we're going to talk about. The harm doesn't actually come from the other person. It comes from how their attention, whether it's envy, admiration, or just simple curiosity, is metabolized inside your own body, inside your own nervous system. Now, there's this really fascinating philosophical framework that gives us a super sophisticated and frankly empowering way to understand all this. It's from a modern school of thought called Arreqqana, and it completely shifts the focus away from an external attack to a question of internal resonance. Okay, so in the Arreqqana framework, they don't even have a concept for the evil eye. Instead, they use this term Jacques-en-Rachat. It's pronounced Jacques-en-Rachat, and it translates to unsettled resonance from an uncentered gaze. So you see, it's not a curse being put on you. It's a description of a temporary disturbance. It's just what happens when external attention bumps up against a part of you that isn't totally grounded. Let's just look at the difference here, side by side. The common belief sees the problem coming from some external malicious person, right? And the solution is some kind of external protection, like a charm. The Arreqqana view just flips that whole thing on its head. It says the source is actually an inner resonance. The problem is just you being a bit unanchored. And the solution? That's internal grounding. It's a total shift from fear to empowerment. And this Arreqqana teaching just puts it perfectly. Attention only echoes where the center is loose. Think about that. In other words, someone else's gaze can only create that shaky, disruptive ripple inside you if your own center isn't solid to begin with. If you're grounded, that attention just has nowhere to land and cause trouble. This whole way of thinking is built on a few incredibly liberating beliefs. Number one, no one can harm you just by looking at you, period. Number two, envy actually hurts the person feeling it way more than the person they're envying. 3. Being seen is totally neutral. It's your internal state that decides its impact. And that means all those external protection rituals, they're unnecessary. Your own inner coherence is all the protection you'll ever need. So, if the solution isn't some external protective charm, what is it? What do you actually do?
While the Arreqqana framework offers a really practical antidote to that feeling of social discomfort, and it is all about grounding.
The antidote to that feeling of Arreqqana, that unsettled resonance, is a state called kenlia. It's pronounced kenlia, and it just means grounded presence, a state of inner steadiness and coherence. So the goal isn't to build a wall around yourself, it's to strengthen your own core. This is how that old myth gets translated into a modern therapeutic language. A practitioner of this philosophy, they're known as a Kahimi Valara, would hear someone say, "I think I got the evil eye," and they'd understand it to mean, "My nervous system feels destabilized after being seen or evaluated." So the response isn't fear or superstition, it's a practical focus on getting regrounded. And this is really the essence of the entire reframe. The power isn't external, it's internal. Because the gaze of another person, whether it's envious or admiring, simply cannot wound someone who is standing firmly in their own center. And we'll end with this thought. This philosophy reframes the very idea of the eye. It suggests that maybe we should be far less concerned with the eyes that are looking at us, and far more concerned with the eye that we are looking through, our own perception, our own perspective. Because at the end of the day, that is the only one that truly shapes our path.